If you ever thought about becoming a web developer, but you felt like it was too late, or you weren't smart enough, or even feeling a little bit overwhelmed, this video is for you. I want to talk to you like someone who is walking on the same path as you. Because learning how to code isn't just a skill, it's a door. And that door is still open in 2025, if you are willing to push through it. So why web dev is still worth it in 2025? Let's start with the real reason why you probably are clicking and watching this video. You want more. Maybe freedom, maybe financial stability, maybe even just purpose, something that you know you're good at and you want to make into a career. Web development can actually give you all three. Not instantly, not magically, but absolutely with a lot of effort. Here's why it is still one of the most powerful skills to learn even in 2025. Number one is that the internet is still growing. Every business, every brand, every idea needs a presence online. Tech is evolving, but the core need stays the same. Someone needs to build the tools that people will use. You do not need a college degree, but it would be nice if you did go to college. I don't want to be like, don't go to college, right? I think college could be very, very useful. You also do not need boot camps. You need focus, consistency, internet access. Now, like I said, you could get these certificates in these college degrees. I think it would look great on your resume, but just remember that they aren't just looking at that. You need more. You need experience, you need projects, maybe even a little bit of freelance work, right? There's so much more that needs to go into it, regardless of certificate or degree. You need to be able to show them that you could solve real problems and that you know exactly what you are claiming that you know through the projects that you have made. Web dev is one of the few career paths where you can create real, valuable projects within months. And with each one, you level up your skills and opportunities. Why most people end up quitting? Now, let's be real. Most people don't make it. It is not because they're dumb, but because they either, number one, try to learn too much too fast. And that is the easiest way to burnout, to despair, to feeling like you cannot do it at all, and just quitting. Number two is comparing themselves to people who have been learning this for years, maybe even 5, 10, or in this industry, and feel like they need to be at that level. That because they're not there in 2 days, obviously that's an exaggeration, but because they're not there as fast as they want to be, they will quit. Number three is that they get overwhelmed by what language should I learn? And there's many other reasons why people quit, but these are mainly, I want to say, like the top three. That becomes a rabbit hole. The truth. You do not need to know everything. You just need to start. Build small wins and move forward at your own pace. I know it's difficult when a lot of people give you advice and they try to make you feel like you should be at a certain spot here or here, follow this roadmap. If you don't, you're not going to make it. It starts to overwhelm you. But as long as you move at your own pace, because you know what it's going to take for you to actually learn something, at some point you will get there. Don't compare to the person to your left that is learning a little bit easier and they get there in 2 years, when for you it may take you 6. Regardless, you both made it. Don't give up because you feel like it's going to take too long, or you don't feel smart, or you feel like, you're just not learning quick enough. Because slow progress is still progress, and speed means nothing if you are moving in the wrong direction. Don't rush learning something if you're realizing you aren't learning it at all, just because you want to be a step ahead of the game, because in reality, you're falling behind because you never learned what you needed to learn in the first place. So now I want to talk about how to study and actually retain the information that you are learning. And listen, this is still a struggle for me to this day sometimes. I just learned about objects yesterday and I cannot tell you what the hell it is for. But I will be looking into it later today to make sure I can retain it. Maybe following these steps I'm going to give y'all. So here is how studying sticks. Number one, don't just watch, build. I know a lot of people say this and it could be a little bit frustrating because you do feel like, and sometimes I get to this point as well, especially with my JavaScript. If y'all want to watch more videos on this channel, I'm literally documenting myself learning how to code, and it has been 2 months so far. Watch the journey, man. I'm struggling too, so if y'all want to start with me here, because I'm literally following along my journey of learning how to code. The tutorials are great. And I think I find more success when I do follow a tutorial, right? And I try to code alongside it. But then another thing that I do, which isn't a part of these steps, but y'all can follow, is that I break it down either with MDM documents or ChatGPT, as in writing the code line by line and asking, why did this code need to be there? What did it do specifically for this app? So now in my brain, I know exactly why I need to write that code specifically for a certain app, which always can translate to different apps, because then now you're starting to understand, right? Like why certain things need to be there, and you get it. But don't stop there. Every time you finish one, build another. Something slightly different, maybe on your own knowledge or with your own creativity, just so you can see that you are learning from it. Normally I do the 5-5 thing. Well, I think it's something that I made up, but normally what I do is I will follow a guided project maybe about 5 times. And then after that, I will try to make it again without following it another 5 times. Now, you don't necessarily got to do 5, but you know, sometimes I end up doing that, or sometimes I'll literally do less. It depends on what you know. When it came to my counter project, I made that about, I think I made it about 5 times, like on my own. But when it came to a different one, I don't really remember what it was, but I got it quick. I was like, okay, that's it. We're done remaking this, because I understand. Like, I'm over it. Next, use the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time equals practice, and 20% of your time equals watching and reading. 20 minutes of watching people code. Spend 40 minutes coding that concept yourself. I don't really follow that one, but that might actually be a good implementation to add. Number 3 is talk out loud and teach it. That is something that I'm following. I currently haven't taught it on this channel, but I do definitely talk out loud and do have plans. Like, I have many things that I do plan on teaching on this channel, just so I can get myself used to, like, just, you know, because it really helps you. Pretend that you are explaining what you learned, right? Because you don't have to do it to a YouTube video or to other people. It would be nice to actually do it to people to see if they can understand it, and even a YouTube video so you can watch it back and maybe even make another one just to see if you can do it better. But see if you can explain it to a beginner, even if it's just to your wall. It forces your brain to organize the info clearly. Number 4, when you make mistakes, debug them. Googling errors isn't cheating. It's literally how the pros do it. Debugging is the real skill. The code working is the byproduct. Normally what I do, and you could do this as well, is I'll ask ChatGPT to give me a bugged code so that I can debug it. Without their help, I'll sit there and debug their code. But here's a simple roadmap to start. And you don't have to follow this specific one, because like I said, learn on your own time. You don't have to listen to me. Definitely don't overcomplicate, and this is a beginner-friendly one. So for month 1 and month 2, learn HTML plus CSS. Now, I screwed up. In month 2, I decided, because I seen a comment tell me that I should learn JavaScript side by side, I decided to learn JavaScript by month 2, and I'm pretty decent. I think it shows how everything connects, but I personally would have waited. I think I should have waited, because I'm kind of hooked to the JavaScript part, because I feel like I'm not understanding it, and because of that, I'm ignoring CSS, and there's a lot more stuff I need to learn in HTML and CSS that I do not know, because I'm stuck here trying to learn some JavaScript. So learn how to structure pages with HTML and learn how to style them with CSS. Build personal home pages, simple blogs, a restaurant website, literally anything that can involve HTML and CSS. Copy other websites with the things that you do know. I did a Netflix replica. If you want to go check that video out, that would be super dope. Did a Netflix replica. That was crazy. Put a lot of time and effort into that one. Month 3 to 4, learn JavaScript. Now, if it takes you longer, trust me, for me, I know it's going to. The way I'm learning JavaScript, I definitely learned the fundamentals. If you tell me to write a function, I could write it. But if you tell me, make this button work, I'm lost on what the hell I need to write to make that button work. You know what I'm saying? But start with the basics. This is exactly what I started with. Declaring variables is, of course, the first thing you should learn. Learn about functions, learn about loops, and learn about DOM. And then there's different things like event or simple interactivity, form validation, and then you could build things like a calculator, a to-do list, an image slider, and a counter. A counter is a really easy one that I did for my first project, and right now I'm doing a to-do list that is still very tough for me, but it's definitely a good project to create. It feels pretty good too, especially when you have stuff to do and you can use it for real. Month 5 and month 6, push for projects plus GitHub. Try to build full projects like a portfolio site, a small business site, a weather app, right? If you really stick to these things and you have more time than me, I know for me, it might take me like a year to learn front end, because I don't have that much time. I can really only study for about an hour or 2 and then go ham on my days off. But, you know, for you, you may have more time, and if so, you can definitely get that done within that time. But remember, move at your own pace. Don't be afraid if you're getting stuck. Don't try to rush it. Just go as slow as you need to go. But make sure you push code to your GitHub and learn how to Google errors and read documentations. Now, I will link in the description exactly what websites I use to learn how to code, what websites I use to get certain definitions, the documentations to certain things like MDM docs, and just stuff like that, so you guys can also learn in those certain areas. I technically really use Free Code Camp the most, but I know that there are other places that people would prefer to use. There are also YouTube channels. I don't really watch YouTube channels, so I don't want to recommend people except for Free Code Camp, because that's the only one that I think is goated. But I just don't really look at everyone else's, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if everyone else's is good. I know Bro Code has some good ones, but that's simply about it. I'll probably link both of those down below as well. And then if you're consistent, the next steps you should learn is learn about React or Vue, which are front-end networks, but I think I've heard React be used way more. I'm not too sure when Vue should be used or if that's better. Might have to do your own research on that one, but React definitely has been going around recently. Get into Node.js plus Express, which is for backend. You can learn about APIs, how to fetch data, add MongoDB, which is databases, or another database later. But those things are just for extra. Like if you want to, you've learned all of this, you feel like you're really good with front end. Of course, you're still learning, but that front end is now like it's been 6 months and you're like, okay, let me dabble a little bit into back end, let me dabble a little bit into these things, just so you can be a little bit more well-rounded when it comes to, building actual projects. And you could potentially even pursue full stack if you really pursue front end and back end and database. But remember, don't try to do it all at once. Pick one at first and definitely stick with it for 6 months. Try to get as comfortable as you can and then move to the next part and then to the next part. It'll be better for you to become full stack, but as of right now, we are talking about strictly front end. Now, this is about mindset and motivation. Here's what I want you to remember. You do not need to be perfect and you do not need to be consistent. Success in web development doesn't come from talent, it comes from momentum. You don't have to rush, you don't have to keep up with anyone else. This is your timeline, this is your pace, this is your win. Every time that you sit down to code, even if it's only for 20 minutes, like I said, I've only been able to code on the days that I work for about an hour or less. So trust me, it does not matter about how long that you have. At the end of the day, you are still moving forward. That's the difference between those who make it and those who quit. They feel like because they only learned one thing for the day and they don't have enough time that whatever, I'm just gonna give up. No, there have been plenty of times where I didn't learn anything for the day and I did something that was a waste of time, but it was still coding and it still got me to the point of, okay, whatever, even though this is something I already knew, at least now I'm getting better at, in particular, that specific thing. Even when it feels slow, even when it feels so stressful and so hard to learn, even when AI feels like it's coding better than you, and trust me, it will code better than you for a while until you learn a little bit more. Because guess what? Not just learning how to code, you are learning how to problem solve, how to think like a problem solver. You're becoming someone who can create solutions from scratch. That's rare, that's valuable, and that's yours. So if you're thinking about giving up, don't. Definitely take a break if you need to though. Go slower if you have to, but do not quit because the world still needs builders. And you don't have to be the best. You just have to keep showing up. Web dev can change your life. It can give you freedom, income, confidence, even community if you don't give up on yourself first. Me starting here on this channel created a beautiful community of beginner web developers and people who are developers, and it is one of the most coolest things that I have developed here. I will always recommend the Document Your Journey on YouTube. It is definitely worth it. You got this. One line of code at a time. If this helped you, drop a comment down below letting me know where you are at in your journey. Are you restarting? Are you a beginner? Are you halfway through it? Whatever. Hit the like, subscribe, or share this with someone who is on this path as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Still learning, still building. Deuces.